Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
And welcome back to another episode of Stomp This Way. We're here this week with a very sort of special guest.
Sort of special. That's rude.
Sort of special.
I thought I was very special.
Yeah.
A former member of the podcast.
Former.
He's a
I'm a founding member.
He's a part-time member. Former founding
member.
Founding member, now part-time member. Dylan Green.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Did we say last names?
I don't think it matters. Who cares?
There's a lot of Dylan Greens out there. I'm sure. You know, whatever. You want his address? It's my address. Anyway, Dylan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm peachy.
That's good. That's good.
Peachy.
How's life going?
Good. I don't think I've done a podcast with you guys since
Oh, it's been a hot minute.
When's the last time I did a podcast with you guys over
Super 8?
Was it Super 8?
I think it was Super 8. How many episodes ago was that?
Hot minute.
It was a while.
It's been a minute.
There's been a lot of Tremors and
went through the whole Tremors franchise since
Well, we
then.
started Tremors back in the day, and I was a part of that first episode, and I think you guys picked up from where that left off, right?
Yeah. Dylan did the first movie back right before our...
It was right before the hiatus.
Yeah, our great hiatus. But anyway.
I'm back. I'm back today.
I was able to con him back.
I don't know. You don't have to con me to do this one.
To do a childhood classic.
Yeah.
Trip down memory lane. Andrew, what film are we talking about today?
We are talking about The Iron Giant.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. This is a movie that I remember when I was a kid. I'm talking young kid.
Like a child.
We had this movie on repeat. It's one of those I watched on repeat.
I remember watching this movie quite a bit when I was a kid, but I would venture to say I haven't seen this movie in probably about 20 years.
It's probably been about 20 years since I watched this movie. It's been a long time. Andrew, when's the last time you watched it?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been quite a while.
I was actually really excited to come back this week and revisit it because I remember loving it as a kid, but I couldn't remember much from it.
I couldn't remember a whole lot about it either. I mean, I remembered like the basic plot of the film, but I didn't remember anything that particularly happened in it per se. But I liked this movie a lot when I was a kid, so I was excited to come back and revisit it as well.
Yeah. And something exciting that I also did was I went and I read the novel's a kind word.
It's a children's book.
Children's book, novella.
It's like 60 pages, isn't it?
It was like 88 pages, big font. I read the whole thing in about an hour. The Iron Man by Ted Hughes.
It was released in America under the name The Iron Giant, though, if I'm not mistaken, to not be confused with the Marvel comic at the time, the Iron Man.
Yeah, I do believe I read that somewhere. But yeah, so I will, as we kind of go through it, I'll talk about what, and again, kind of a loose adaptation. I'll talk about what did happen, what didn't happen in the book, what was taken from the book, what wasn't. But yeah, so I did that.
So proud of you.
Good for you.
Thank you.
So proud of you.
Thank you. I've been working hard, reading through the dinosaur books for our dinosaur series coming up.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
What kind of dinosaurs?
Well, I did The Lost World, and I did Jurassic Park, and after I finish this godforsaken clown book, I'm going to read The Lost World.
Sick clown book.
The Michael Crichton version of The Lost World.
Oh, okay. What all dinosaur movies are we planning on doing? Maybe I might have to watch some dinosaur movies.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping you'll join us at least for the Jurassic Park movies.
But I'll watch Jurassic Park. Don't you worry.
We're going to start with the original giant monster movie, The Lost World, silent movie, 1925.
Is that the original giant monster movie?
Yeah, I think credited by most people the first monster movie.
Okay.
Like giant monster movie, at least.
Okay.
And then there was another adaptation of that book in 1960, and then we'll do the Jurassic Park series leading up to Jurassic World, whatever it's called.
Rebirth, I think.
Rebirth.
Yeah, God help us, but whatever.
They keep making $1 billion. They're gonna keep making them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right. The world never learns. That's why we're gonna have 5 Minecraft movies in the next 10 years.
This
But whatever.
in
La la
Minecraft.
la la, chicken.
No,
We're
no,
gonna
the
get
memories.
copyrighted.
The PTSD. Anyway, I'm sorry. You want to talk about production trivia for the Iron Giant?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, this is, as I said, loosely based on the book, The Iron Man, or released in America as The Iron Giant by Ted Hughes, published actually in the Cold War era. I think in the
Yeah, I think you're like 68, right?
68. That sounds right. This movie actually started. The book was first adapted by Peter Townsend
Of
from
The Who.
as a concept album in 1989. And then he wanted to develop it into a musical, and then actually began production in 94 with the idea of becoming a musical,
Like an animated musical or just a musical?
like an animated musical. Like I think they first did I think they put on a stage play, and then they were like, why don't we turn this into like a animated musical? But then Warner Brothers bought the rights to it in 96 and brought on Brad Bird and was like, we're not doing a musical. We're just going to do a traditional
They're like,
animated
listen
movie.
here, Pete. No.
And I think Pete, he's still credited as an executive producer. I think he pretty much gave up his involvement at that point. But anyway, this was created using traditional animation with the Iron Giant and a few other effects in the movie created with the use of CGI. It was an understaffed film created with half the time and budget of a traditional animated film of the time. But because of that, in exchange, Bird was given an unusual amount of creative freedom to make the movie. So I think you can see it reflected in the product. The last Warner Brothers feature animation film to be fully animated and not a live action animation hybrid.
Okay.
It was Bird's only film to not be scored by Michael Giacchino.
I also found out this was his first feature film that he directed. He'd only
Yes.
directed a couple episodes of some different TV shows up to this point and a
The
short film.
Simpsons and stuff like that.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So this was his first feature film that he directed himself.
Yep. Good start. After the failure of Quest for Camelot, another animated film, Warner Brothers did not have much faith in this animated film. Therefore, they failed to properly market it. By the time they got the test screening results back, which according to Brad Bird, this was the highest test screening results for 15 years that any film had had in the prior 15 years, it was too late to mount a proper marketing campaign. Warner Brothers would later spend $35 million to market the home video release because they were like, oh, damn, this movie's really good. and they would sell the rights to Cartoon Network and TNT for $3 million. And for a while, in the early 2000s, Cartoon Network showed this film on a 24-hour loop for certain holidays like Thanksgiving and Easter.
I think I vaguely remember that playing on repeat when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I watched it.
Yeah, you put it on Cartoon Network and there it was. I mean, if you're going to pay $3 million for it, might as well get
Might
your
as
money's worth. But anyway, Dylan, you going to tell them about some awards and some box office?
Sure thing. So this movie is nominated for quite a few awards. It looks like it was nominated for 15 different awards in animation categories. It ended up winning 9 of them, including a BAFTA.
Well, actually, Annie Awards. There's actually
Annie
a thing.
Oh, there's
called
Annie Awards?
The Annie Awards
Oh,
for
okay.
animated films.
Okay, my bad. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was nominated for 15 Annie Awards and won 9 of them.
Yeah.
It was also nominated and won various other awards, including a BAFTA, but was not nominated for any Oscars, it looks like, and won none of them.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Very sad.
sad day.
I mean, honestly, this is probably better than any movie at the Oscars that year. I don't know. What
1999 was a great year in film, okay?
96.
This movie came out in 96. This movie came out in 99, my man.
99. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you here in
just
just a second, actually. It was released August 6th, 1999 to be exact.
Sorry. It started production in 96. I got my dates confused. I'm sorry.
It's okay, it happens. But released August 6th, 1999. Budget of about $50 million and another $30 million spent for marketing.
Mhm.
It opened 9th place with only $5.7 million.
Yep.
Would
That's
finish
rough.
with a total domestic gross of $23.2 million and
Mhm.
$8.1 million international for a total worldwide gross of only $31.3 million. So not a financial success for this film,
No.
unfortunately. I think the majority of this film's praise and success now has really become kind of just I guess what you would say like a cult following over the years from probably people about our age that grew up watching it that have
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it as
Well, it was
we grew up.
a big hit on home video, and like I said, it aired on TV over and over and over and over. So, but honestly, I'm impressed that must have been a good weekend at the box office. That you got ninth place with 5.7 million.
I'm curious now. Let's find out. All right, so this movie opened. It appears the same weekend that The Sixth Sense opened, which opened to
Oof.
do about $26.6 million. Weekend number 4 of the Blair Witch Project, which obviously, as we know, ended up being like one of the most successful independent films ever created.
Yeah.
Runaway Bride was number 3 that weekend with 20.7. The first weekend of the Thomas Crown Affair. The second weekend of Deep Blue Sea.
Okay.
Mystery Men opened that weekend. I don't know if I know what that is. Inspector Gadget was number 7 that weekend with a little over 9 million. The Haunting with Liam Neeson
Oof.
was number 8. And at number 9 was The Iron Giant. Rounding out the top 10, though, that year in its 5th week of release was American Pie with $4.1 million. Just outside of the top 10, though, just outside, its first week outside of the top 10
Was the Phantom Menace.
was The Phantom Menace. You're so correct. And there you go.
What's sad is that maybe with the exception of The Sixth Sense, Iron Giant is easily better than all the rest of those movies. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
We're not a box office show, but there's a little box office history for you.
there you go. There you go. Let's take a break. Let's listen to a trailer, and then we're going to come back. Dylan will tell you the cast and crew, and we'll read off a plot summary, much abbreviated compared to some of my more recent ones. And then maybe we'll talk a little news at the end. But anyway, see you in a bit.
Two nights ago, SATCOM radar detected an unidentified object entering Earth's atmosphere.
Invaders from Mars.
Some assumed it was a large meteor or a downed satellite. This is no meteor, gentlemen. This is something much more dangerous.
So, I guess you're not gonna hurt me, huh? This is unbelievable. This is the greatest discovery since television or something. Hey, big metal guy! I got food here for you! My own giant robot. I am now the luckiest kid in America. Banzai! All systems go! Blast off!
Hey there, Scout. Kent Mansley. I work for the government. Now, why would you tell your mom about a giant robot?
Mom! A little privacy!
Sorry.
What are you talking about?
Where's the giant?
For some reason, the army is in our front yard, Mr. Mansley.
We must stop it at all costs. Go to Code Red. Repeat, Code Red.
We've gotta help him! Hogarth, no! We gotta hide!
Hey, stop! There's a kid in his hand!
You can't protect him, Hogarth.
Run!
Warner Brothers Family Entertainment presents the story of a young boy
Look out for the boss!
and a giant from another world
You can fly?
who became a hero on this one,
You can fly!
The Iron Giant.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Dylan, who made this thing?
People.
Oh, okay.
Well, as I stated earlier, and we've already stated a couple times, this film was directed by Brad Bird, his directorial feature film debut. Written by Tim McCandless, I believe is how you pronounce this man's name, and Brad Bird, based on the book again by Mr. Ted Hughes.
Yes.
Music by Michael Kamen,
Mhm.
starring Jennifer Aniston, Harry Connick Jr., Vin Diesel as
Mm.
the Iron Giant, James Gammon, Cloris Leachman, John Mahoney, Eli Marenthal, Mr. Christopher McDonald, and M. Emmett Walsh. Christopher McDonald, who, if you find people out there don't realize, that's Mr. Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
There's a sequel to that coming too, because we can't just let anything die. But whatever. Anyway, I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, if you look at this cast nowadays, you're like, it's a pretty good cast. It's a pretty good cast. I mean, Jennifer Aniston wasn't that famous at the time, but
I mean, she was on Friends for about 5 years at this point, so she's probably pretty famous.
I guess I didn't realize Friends started that early.
94.
So, yeah, she was.
But I mean, they spent $50 million on this movie in 1999. Like, that's not a slouch of a budget.
I mean, granted, no, it's not. Vin Diesel, not that famous.
He'd been, I guess, he'd been in Saving Private Ryan, I guess, at that point in time, right? Wasn't he in Saving
He was
Private
in
Ryan?
Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan.
That's
Yeah.
about it. This was before Fast and
A
Furious.
bit role in Saving Private Ryan.
Had he done the first Riddick movie yet? Pitch Black?
I want to say that was around the same time.
Because the Chronicles of Riddick, I think, came out in 2001.
Yeah.
So maybe it was right around the same
I think it was
time.
like 99, 98.
98, 99, I think was maybe when Pitch Black came out.
I guess he
so-
was on the up and coming.
He was on the up and coming, but he wasn't big yet like we know him today.
I mean, honestly, he probably did 2 hours in a recording booth, and that was about it. But
He doesn't have a ton of lines.
and then Christopher McDonald, I mean, is a pretty big name, but you know whatever. Harry Connick Jr. Anyway, we're off track. You want some plot summary?
Let's hear it. What's the plot of this
Alright.
film?
In the small town of Rockwell, Maine, a young boy encounters a giant robot whom he quickly befriends. With the giant needing a constant source of metal for food, Hogarth hides the metal behemoth in the scrapyard owned by local wannabe artist Dean. However, when a local calls in a sighting to Washington, government agent Kent Mansley comes to town looking for answers. Becoming suspicious of Hogarth, Mansley rents a room from Hogarth's mother and constantly questions the boy. Eventually, Mansley finds a photograph proving the giant's existence. Mansley calls in the military, but when the soldiers shoot down the giant mid-flight and seemingly kill Hogarth, the Iron Colossus goes mad and begins destroying everything in sight. When Hogarth wakes up and returns to the giant calms down and returns to normal. It is too late, however, as Mansley has authorized the launch of a nuclear warhead from a nearby submarine. In an act of self-sacrifice, the giant flies into the air and collides with the missile, seemingly destroyed in the blast. In the final scene, the scattered pieces of the giant journey to Iceland, where the head of the giant rests as credits roll, more or less. Hit you right in the heart.
What a
It's
good
right in the
movie.
heart. Well, the movie starts.
It's a quick movie, by the way.
It's 85 minutes.
It's not
89.
89.
minutes. It's,
89
it's-
minutes.
It's a quick runtime. It gets to the point.
She's snappy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. An immediate difference from the film and the novel is that the movie makes it clear the Iron Giant came from space. In the novel, his origins are never discussed in the slightest.
This film literally opens up with a like a thing floating through space.
Like a meteor,
Yeah.
like coming down and
Hitting the
striking the ocean. And there's a scene, I think that was in kind of the beginning of the novel of a fisherman. Kind of scary the way he's animated his face, but running into him and thinking it's a lighthouse, but it's not. It's a storm, you know, blah blah blah. And he like picks him up and sets him on shore or whatever.
Because he's a good giant.
He's a good giant
For you now.
for now.
Going out.
And then we meet Hogarth. So this movie is set in 1957. So it's at like the height of the Cold War era fears.
Sputnik had been launched at around this point in time, so people were
Yeah.
afraid of Russian spies and satellites in space. So
The space race, if you will, was in full swing. And I love a lot of the stuff about this movie. Like there's a kind of darkly funny bit in a classroom later where the kids are showing a video of like the old like hide under your desk in a nuclear
Yeah.
attack video. Which of
that'll
course
work.
is ridiculous.
That'll work. And
But no, I like the setup. I like the setting. I like the period piece aspect of it. The book obviously was a reflection of the Cold War, and the fact that they're going to set this movie and make it about the Cold War is a really good idea. I will go ahead and say that the novel, like I said, it's a brief novel, not a whole lot of detail there. There is a kid named Hogarth. Basically, the first half of the novel is, you know, the giant washes up on shore in a bunch of different pieces, similar to a scene we're gonna say later in this film. All the pieces like find each other and reassemble, and then like in this film, we're gonna have a period where there's some mysterious, bites taken out of metal objects across the kind of the countryside. Most of the first half of the book is dedicated to a whole bunch of farmers on the countryside, like having their land ransacked and all the metal eaten off their land. And eventually they catch sighting of this giant, and everyone freaks out. And then they like lay a trap for him, and he like gets caught in the trap, which is like a giant hole in the ground, and they bury him. But then he gets out of the hole. So then Hogarth comes up with the idea of putting him in a scrapyard just to keep him happy. And then I'll talk about the second half of the book later, but it gets weird. But anyway, so in this movie, kind of similar, we're gonna meet Hogarth. He's actually gonna be our main character, and he's actually gonna develop a relationship with his giant. He's gonna run into the giant one night. He goes outside. His TV antenna's messing up, and it looks like it's been bitten off. And he's gonna see this giant, or he's gonna see like a trail and chase it through the woods
To a power plant.
to a power plant, the power station, whatever. And of course, the Iron Giant's trying to eat the metal, but then like gets shocked and falls into the electric lines, and
Mm-hmm.
he's getting shocked to death. And Hogarth feels bad for him, so
It
he
saves him.
Saves him.
shuts off the power grid and sets him free. But
This is where their friendship begins.
Yeah.
it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And then he immediately goes up to the robot and it looks dead, but then he wakes up and there's a whole scene where he like chases Hogarth through the woods, but then Hogarth's mom shows up and drives him off.
Drives him home.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, listen, I like the opening. One thing I really appreciate about this movie, and like I said, it's a short movie. It does not waste time showing the Iron Giant.
No.
I mean, we see him
No, it does
In
not.
the opening scene.
the opening scene kind of dark, but we see him pick up the boat and everything, and then we see him in completely full form. I mean, this is what, less than 10 minutes into the movie when this whole power station scene takes place.
Mhm.
I think it sets up really well, and
There's a little more time to focus on the characters and the relationship between Hogarth and the Iron Giant that they build throughout the
Yeah.
film. So
yeah, because the novel, again, it was short, very brief. It wasn't really concerned about characters. Like Hogarth was in it, but he wasn't it wasn't concerned about developing relationships and that kind of stuff. It was just kind of a quick and breezy little tale about this giant. But I will say Brad Bird, very talented director. Obviously, I can't remember if we mentioned it yet or not, but worked on several Pixar films, including Ratatouille and The Incredibles.
most notably, probably The Incredibles. Yeah.
Yeah, probably his biggest, most famous film.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, he knows what he's doing as a writer and a director. Now, obviously, he watched E.T. before making this movie.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about that. There's gonna, do the whole thing with like first they freak out and then they become friends and then they gotta hide the creature from everybody else and then everybody else freaks out or finds out and then the government shows up. Very ET-esque plot, but I really enjoy the relationship between Hogarth and the giant. As Hogarth goes back later and kind of like tries to set a trap for him to photograph, and then the giant comes up behind him and have a scene that's very reminiscent to me of the '76 Kong movie and when Kong met Dwan or whatever. her
Dwan.
name
Oh,
was.
Jessica Lange's character.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
And-
Dwan.
It
She,
won.
like-
Not Dawn. Dwan.
Dwan.
It won.
And she like is trying to get away and he like is chasing her and then put his hand in front of her to keep her from running and all that.
Mhm.
Kind of like that where he chases him through the forest and everything, and he eventually like runs into a branch and knocks himself silly. But they're gonna become fast friends. It doesn't take long for Hogarth to get over his fear of him, and
He teaches him things. Teaches him how to start speaking.
yeah, tries to teach him how to talk, which I'm sure is hard for Vin Diesel. But
Wow.
Wow.
sorry, it's the perfect role for Vin Diesel. This and I Am Groot is like tailor made for Vin Diesel. I don't know,
Mhm.
but
You're trying to say Vin Diesel can't act?
I don't think he's the best actor.
You see,
He is the star of a multi-billion-dollar franchise, sir.
I know.
Mhm.
I'm shocked. I thought for sure I could remember some point in this movie the Iron Giant saying something about family, but maybe I'm just mixing films. But
He just
anyway.
comes out. But
No, I really like all this stuff with the, the teaching him how to speak, and then there's going to be a really touching Bambi scene where they go and he tries to touch a deer, and then it runs off and gets shot, and then it dies, and he runs off the hunters, and he's really sad because the thing is dead. And then we get a brief hint, some foreshadowing of the end of the movie because he sees the gun laying on the ground, and his eyes like go red. It looks like he's going to go Terminator.
yeah.
All Terminator mode.
Oh my gosh.
But he snaps back, and
Snaps back to reality.
there's some really touching, deep conversations about like, the gun, and he's like, "You're not a gun," and he's like, it's later in the scrapyard. He'll tell him it's like it's not a bad thing to die, but it's a bad thing to kill, or maybe he says it vice versa. But
Everybody dies. And it's not a bad thing to die.
yeah, but it is a bad thing to kill.
It is a bad thing to kill.
Also in this movie, we have some other characters. We have his mother, voiced by Jennifer Aniston.
She is a waitress at the local diner.
Yeah.
Also a single mother, it appears to be, and
Seems
they have a room for rent available in their home. I
Yeah.
assume probably trying to make some extra money.
Cash.
Based on the conversation that he has with the Iron Giant later, I assume it's led to believe that maybe the father passed away.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they really don't
They don't
talk
say,
about the father much at all in this movie.
It's not
But,
what the movie's about.
but we meet her pretty early in the film. She's one of basically the second scene that we find that we come to in the film. She's
Okay.
working at the local diner, and this is where we meet Hogarth, and he runs into another character in the film, Dean, voiced by Harry Connick Jr.
yeah, because we get in that scene that you're talking about early in the film, where we're introduced to Hogarth, we get that he likes animals. He's very kind because he's like picked
He's
up the squirrel,
trying
or
to find the
whatever.
squirrel or something like that.
And we have Dean, who is going to be kind of like his adopted father figure in this
Yeah.
film. And there's the whole bit with the squirrel. There's some
He had a squirrel in his pants.
pretty good
Mhm.
underhanded jokes. Like, yeah, at one point the squirrel goes up his trousers, and he's like, "I apologize, everyone," and he like unzips his pants, and the squirrel jumps out the flies. Like he was hiding a squirrel in there, like, wink, wink, nudge,
Yeah.
touch. And there's a scene later when our foil, our antagonist, Kent Mansley from the government, shows up, and Mansley goes and knocks on Hogarth's mother's.
Well, he shows
door.
up first and foremost. He shows up in town, and he goes to meet. I guess the power plant worker. He's talking about all these things that have been eaten, blah 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 blah, and he turns around. His car's got a bite taken out of it, and then he goes to get the guy. Turns around, his car's gone because Iron Giant took it.
Yeah, but he's gonna go and he's gonna knock on. I forgot what their family name was. Hugh's door, and he opens the door, and he's like bending down. He's like at eye level with
So
her
Ken
breast.
Mansley,
He's like
U.S.
"Ken
government,
Mansley."
slams door in his face.
and then the mom comes and opens the door, and he's like eye level with her breasts, and like looks.
He's like, "Hello."
Hello. I was like, whoa, this is kind of racy for a cartoon for kids.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like all. I will say, Mansley is kind of a one-note villain compared to other Brad Bird villains. I feel like in The Incredibles, whatever the
Syndrome has a motivation because he's been scorned by Mr. Incredible in the
Yeah.
past. He has reason to have become evil. This
Yeah.
guy's just
he's just a
He's-
jerk government agent.
Yeah.
because he can be, I guess.
Yep. He's just like obsessed with moving up or whatever, and
Yeah.
wants to make a name for
He gives
himself.
some like sort of slight motivation to him later on, in a spiel where they're hanging out together, and he mentions the fact that, with everything going on in the world, that it's important that we get a hold of this first, I guess, essentially, so we can blow it to Kingdom Come so no one else can get a hold of it.
He's very much like a McCarthyism figure of like, we have to beat the communists at all costs. Kind of,
Yeah.
It's just kind of the embodiment of the, the obsession of the government at that time of, fighting communism or whatever. Anyway, but we had some more fun scenes once, Hogarth introduces the giant to Dean and, puts him in the scrapyard, similar to that is taken from the novel. I mean, not the Dean part, but just put him in the scrapyard. And the scene where like he picks up the car and spins him around so he can pretend like he's in a spaceship. The first scene where he's in the
He takes this one car and the car alarm starts going off, and he sits on it and it keeps going off, and he just takes that sucker and just chunks it.
Yeah, that was good. That's a good joke. That's a good bit. And of course, Dean's freaking out, but he kind of comes to accept it. And anyway, but then later that morning, when Hogarth finally gets home, he figures out his mom has rented their spare room to no other than Kent Mansley.
Oh no!
Oh no!
But anyway, he's very unhappy about this, and so Kent just goes on. There's like a montage of him asking him a bunch of different questions, and so he's getting ready to head out, and the mom suggests that he take him with him.
Yeah.
So Mr. Kent and Hogarth go to the ice cream shop.
Yeah. And he puts Cocoa Lax on his banana split.
Which I think comes with that, does it?
Huh?
I don't think anything came of that, did it?
Yeah,
Well,
remember?
yeah,
he goes to the bathroom.
He had to
And
go
so
to the bathroom.
then Hogarth could run away. And then there's a running joke in the following montage where he has to keep using the bathroom everywhere he goes. But yeah, eventually Mansley is gonna find
A camera in the woods.
The camera where Hogarth freaked out earlier and left it behind, and he's gonna develop the photos. And in one of the photos, the Iron Giant's over his shoulder, and he's got his proof to take to the general.
So he calls him.
So he calls him, and they show up. Now, Dean tries to help him out and tries to play it off as one of his art projects. But of course, and then the general, I like the general, and he shows up, and of course he's very already sick of Mansley.
He's like, you wasted millions of dollars of me getting equipment out here for this.
And they're driving off, and
you'll be scrubbing toilets after this done.
Well, then Dean and Hogarth and the Iron Giant, they have a little fun and go on their little escapade. I guess where they go. Is this where they go to the lake? Right?
Was that before or after? I can't remember. I think it was before.
That was before, I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, well, they had some adventures. They went to the lake, things like that.
Yeah.
But I guess this is the spot after they go away where Hogarth is playing with the Iron Giant. He pulls out his little ray gun. He aims it at him, and our Iron Giant freaks out on him, goes all Terminator, eyes red, and shoots a laser beam.
Shoots some eye beams at him.
Yeah.
And then Dean freaks out, and the Iron Giant feels bad and
runs away.
And then saves some kids that were trying to get a look at him and then fell out a window or something. And so now everybody sees him, and of course Mansley sees him in the rearview mirror or whatever and causes a wreck, but gets the military to turn around. And just as Hogarth has got back to him and he's picked up Hogarth, and then
the town seems to be okay.
Yeah. Then some missiles hit him, and it's on like Donkey Kong. Actually, at first, he protects, puts his hands over Hogarth and runs away, and kind of like King Kong in the Peter Jackson movie when he's trying to save Anne or whatever her name is. And I guess that was after this though. But yeah, the whole bit where he's running away from the military and getting shot at, and then he figures out after he jumps off the cliff that he can fly.
He can fly.
He's got rocket boosters in his feet.
Yeah.
Because there was a whole bit about Hogarth was showing him some comic books, and he's like, this is Superman, and whatever. And then there was another comic book with an evil robot. He's like, you're not this evil robot, you're a Superman. And at one point in the scrapyard, he put a big S on his.
Superman.
Hi, Superman. No, you're not Vin Diesel. Sorry, you're Groot. That's the best we could do.
Imagine Vin Diesel as Superman.
Oh God,
he doesn't have hair for that.
He could be Lex Luthor. He's bald.
He's the bald variant of Superman.
Anyway, yeah, they're flying, and we got the whole scene in the air, and then some jets fly in, and they got some military resources to this town really fast. But
yeah,
they shoot this poor robot down.
They had like a whole army of tanks.
Well, I was less surprised about that. I was like, they had 2 battleships waiting in the Maine, off the coast of Maine for this. But whatever. Anyway, he crash lands. Hogarth is thrown from his hands. Luckily, there's snow on the ground. But Hogarth looks dead, like the deer earlier. And this is where he completely loses it. And I love the fact that he turns into this very 50s B movie type, War of the Worlds type giant robot.
He's got things that come out of his back and a giant
and he had
beam thing in the middle of his chest.
Arms.
Yeah.
Something right out of War of the Worlds. and the 50s version, and starts laser blasting everything, and
Killing
then
everyone.
Hogarth wakes up, and
Calms him down finally.
yeah, he gets well.
Tells him
Hogarth
that
gets,
he gets to choose what kind of robot he wants to be.
and he's like Hogarth,
Mm.
and yeah, but it's too late.
It's too late. They get back to town.
Mansley, they've been in contact with the Nautilus, wink, wink,
Yeah.
nudge, nudge, and it's a nuclear submarine. And the general is about to call off the strike once he sees that Hogarth is back and the giant has calmed down. But Mansley's like, authorize the launch or launch the missile now, whatever he says.
Launch the missile.
And
So they launch a nuclear missile at this small town in Maine.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
and just like Iron Man
Yeah.
in the Avengers, Iron Giant is like, I'm gonna save you from this missile.
Mhm.
And he flies into the atmosphere and he flies with it. And it's very much right before he leaves, and they got me. Hogarth was like,
Very
"I
ET
love you."
moment.
Yeah,
He like touches him or like points at him almost like,
he's like, "I love you," and
and then he blows up.
it's like Gamera and Super Monster colliding with that evil spaceship.
Yeah,
Maybe-
not
maybe
nothing
it's
like
a
that.
little harder, but
And that was a terrible movie right there.
that was a terrible movie. But anyway,
Mhm.
and yeah, and then later,
Flash forward a little bit. It looks like
they built a
Dean's made a statue of the Iron Giant in memory of him
Yeah.
because he saved the town, and it seems as though Dean and the mom are together now.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
together.
And then Hogarth's playing with his friends because now he's got friends.
He got
those
friends.
bullies from earlier. They're his friends now.
There's friends now.
Yeah,
And they go off, and Dean gives him a package that's from the general,
yeah,
and it's a screw
that they
Yeah.
found.
from the Iron Giant.
mhm,
He's laying down in his bed one morning. He wakes up, and the screw tumples the box over.
mhm.
Get it? Because like the one scene in the movie where he gets to put himself together.
Yeah, there was a scene earlier
Mhm.
where I forgot what had happened.
There was a train coming.
He
There was a
get hit
train,
by a train.
and he like burst into pieces. Then yeah, he like reassembled himself.
But anyway, the screw's like tapping on the window door or on the window door on the window, and he opens up the window, and it rolls outside and continues to roll. And we get to Iceland and
Yeah,
on this
Yeah.
glacier, and here he is,
all
head in the
pieces
snow.
all the pieces are working their way towards him, and there's his,
His
head.
eyes light up, and he smiles.
Aw,
Mhm.
Oh,
Ho-
I will
Ho-
say I forgot to say the second half of the book, none of that happens. So after like they put him in the scrapyard and everything, he's content, and then a giant space dragon shows up.
What?
And like a giant space dragon, like, and it lands on Australia.
space dragons.
Yeah, space dragon, and takes up like all of Australia, and then like threatens to use his tongue to lick all humanity off the surface if they don't do something. I don't remember, but anyway, basically it ends with the Iron Giant challenges the dragon to a like a who can take the most heat contest. So the Iron Giant like superheats himself and then challenges the dragon to go to the sun and superheat himself. So they like take turns doing that until the giant dragon finally says, "I've had enough. You win," and leaves Earth. It gets really weird. It gets really weird. I'm glad that they didn't try to adapt that into this movie.
I don't know about that.
That
Yeah.
would be very hard to adapt.
Yeah,
the movie.
I think Brad Bird did a really good job, and his screenwriter here, of taking the elements from the book that worked and bringing them over to the movie.
A
And
giant
leaving the-
robot coming to Earth.
Yeah, and leaving the more fantastical elements.
like a
out of it.
giant alien dragon coming,
Yeah,
taking up half their.
yeah. So
Well, what
that's-
they did was they made a story that made you care about the characters. They take this
Yeah.
boy who's in need of friends, in need of
Yeah.
some sort of, some sort of other person's life outside of his mom, because his mom's pretty absent because she's working so much, and
yeah,
it's established fairly early in the film that he spends a lot of time, it seems like, at home evenings when his mom has to pick up extra shifts, things like that. So he's probably just a lonely kid. He finds, friendship in this robot and builds this relationship with him, and I think that's easily the best part about this movie.
oh yeah. I think the Elliot E.T. relationship part of this movie is really strong. I mean, even if it's inspired by E.T., I think it's
Yeah.
done really well. I think there's some really, I mean, there's some like true like laugh out loud moments even as adults. I think in this movie, and
I laughed pretty hard when he chunked that car.
Yeah,
I
did
think
too.
there's some really sweet moments. And like I said, at the end when he's like, "I love you," I was like, "Oh, It hits hard. Makes me want to cry.
And then he blew up.
Then he blew up. And no, I think they did a really good job with that stuff. Like I said, mainly, I mean, if I want to nitpick, because I really enjoyed this movie, I say I think
Aaron
the
loves
villain's a little
nitpicking.
one note. You know, maybe a little too inspired by ET, but no, overall, I think this is a really strong movie,
Mhm.
especially if you think of it's a directorial debut for Brad Bird. Really strong movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next?
Creature design.
Well, there's only one creature.
There's one.
Only
creature.
one creature.
The Iron Giant.
The Iron.
E.
I love, which I think there were illustrations made for the book that basically were this, but I love the simplicity of the design. He's just like a giant, like if you could think of like a giant iron machine, humanoid machine, this is pretty much what you would envision. And I love just like the basic helmet design and
Yeah.
the bolt. You can see all the bolts and everything where they like screw together, and the eyes, they're like giant white eyes. But
He's
they go
very
red.
much what you would imagine like a Cold War era illustration of a robot would look like, except he's
Yeah.
big.
Except he's
Yeah.
big.
Like
and
if you
like
can
I
think
said,
of like I guess like a Tinker Toy type situation,
yeah,
from like the 50s or something like that, like tin can robot or something like that, almost exactly what he looks
Almost
like.
exactly.
Just a little
Yeah.
more rounded.
With
Yeah.
a lot more firepower to him.
yeah. And then when he goes berserk, I love, they give him the red eyes. He does look menacing,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the 50s era like
Classic
ray
sci-fi
guns,
elements and like with the ray
Yeah.
guns and stuff like that.
ray guns, yeah, and
Blasters and whatnot.
Blasters.
all that stuff. I think it works really well, especially for the period that it's set in. So creature design, good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Brad Bird was also an animator on this film, by the way. Not
Yeah.
only did he direct it, he was also a credited animator on the film.
So he did a good job.
So animation, our next segment, in replace of replacing effects. You mentioned it early on that you dug the animation.
I think the animation style is really good. It's got that late 90s animation look. Like it's definitely the last of its era, like modern 2D animation.
Yeah,
And it looks a little dated. Like you can tell it's a little dated. Like,
it's old school,
but
not old school.
not old school, but you can tell it's a little bit of a dated animation style. It's not what we have today, obviously. But something about it, I think a lot of it has to do with the Cold War era aesthetic of the movie.
Yeah.
Really makes the animation style work, and it gives it I don't know, it gives it a warm and cozy feel, like the
Yeah.
animation style.
I really dig the 2D animation of this movie. I think it's very fluid. I there was no point where I was like, ugh. You
No,
know?
by dated I don't mean it looks bad. Like it just looks like a older animation style.
Yeah, I mean, like the
But-
way like some of the humans are drawn and stuff.
Mhm.
You're like, it kind of is reminiscent of like some old Disney characters or something.
Yeah,
To be fair, this is old by now. This is
I mean it's 26 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the CGI that they used for the Iron Giant. I read that he was 7,000 individual components, and when he went like ballistic, it was 10,000 components they had to animate. But I think they did a good job. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was because a lot of times when you see CGI in 2D movies, like it really stands out. Like you can, like a lot of those early Pokemon movies, they would do this, whereas like they'd have CG elements in with the 2D, and you're like, you could easily tell, like, oh, there's the 3D. But the way they like color graded or whatever the CGI, it really blends well with the 2D.
It
animation.
looks
It
like 2D
does.
animation.
Yeah. So I think they did a really good job with that. I mean, they were understaffed, under budgeted, but
They
I
made
think
it
looks
work.
really good.
Mhm.
I think it looks like a lot better than a lot of other animated movies at the time that had more money and more time.
It's got the same animation style and feel as like a lot of the 90s Disney movies. Like that's what
Yeah.
I would equate it to.
Yeah.
A little less polished maybe,
Yeah.
but really really good. It holds up very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. And then score. I like the score for this movie.
I like it.
I mean, it's very,
It's pretty standard for a movie
it's
like
pretty
this.
standard. I mean, it's nothing super special, but I think it hits the emotional beats it needs to, and I think it works really well. There are some times where I'm like, it would have been really fun if they would have like really pushed like some kind of like piece of music that you would expect from like a 50s era B movie in this particular scene or this particular scene. They don't ever really do that,
No.
but But no, I think the score works.
I'm not
works fine.
upset about that.
Yeah. But anyway, you guys ready for some final thoughts?
Sure.
Oh, why
Oh, Andrew?
not?
Andrew? Go for it.
Well,
Well,
well.
Well,
This movie, it's a pretty good movie altogether, you know. One of the better movies we've reviewed in a while.
you didn't like Tremors 5 Bloodlines?
I don't, you know, not my favorite.
Mm,
But you know, it's a good movie, you know. Better than what you would think it would be in that time frame of movies that are coming out. Of animated movies.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Tarzan came out around this time.
I do like Tarzan.
Tarzan was pretty good.
I'm
Did
not
it
gonna
come
Phil
out?
Collins cooked on that soundtrack.
Was that in '99?
I think Tarzan came out in 98.
You know, I like the score. I thought it was really good. It made the movie made it feel really good. Like, you know, emotions and everything. And, you know, the acting in this was really good. I thought all the people acted, even Vin Diesel acted really good in this movie. Yeah, you know, Vin Diesel, he's not a bad actor.
Debatable.
Depends on the role.
Depends on his role. He's decent in Fast and
Family.
Furious. And, you know, I like the animation style, like y'all said. The animation style is good in this movie. They match it really good with what they're trying to do. Even though they were under budget, understaffed, they did a really good job with putting it all together in the end. And I think I'll give this movie an A minus.
Okay. Dylan, what do you think?
I think this movie reminds me of why I enjoyed it as a kid, rewatching it now. It holds up very well. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Getting to rewatch it all these years later as an adult puts a little bit of a new perspective on it. But it just holds up so well. The animation holds up so well. Even though I said it's a little dated by dated, like I said, I mean it's an older style of animation that we don't see anymore
Mhm.
because we're wholly in 3D animation now, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But the style of it with the Cold War, 1950s aesthetic, and it's funny you mentioned it, the fact the town's name is Rockwell. It's got that Norman Rockwell aesthetic, small town America, in fall time the leaves are orange, farmhouses and barns and things like that. It's a very charming aesthetic. It's a very charming animation style, but it's all held together by a really well written story about two characters finding each other.
Dean and the mom.
No, no, not Dean and the mom. Hogarth and the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Two people that need each other. It seems Hogarth in need of a friend, and the Iron Giant just in need of someone that cares.
Yeah.
And to show him the way that
He's,
he can,
that he's not a weapon.
that he's not a weapon, and he can choose to be better.
This is the way.
It hits all the right emotional beats throughout the film, building the friendship in such a short amount of time that it really makes you feel at the end of the movie, a lot of emotions when this Iron Giant decides that he's ready to take off and sacrifice himself to save his friend.
Mhm.
So overall, I think it holds up really well. The Iron Giant's design is really good. It's got that perfect 1950s aesthetic as well. The score is very serviceable for the film, and overall, I think it's very solid, especially for a directorial debut from Brad Bird. So
Yeah.
I'll give it an A.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I mean, Iron Giants don't kill people. People kill people. That's the message of the movie, right? Anyway, no, listen, I really like this film. Returning to it, I'm glad that we thought about doing this for the podcast because
Why did you think about doing this for the podcast, by the way? I'm sorry. What does this have to do with monsters?
It's
it's a giant robot.
It's a giant robot.
The answer is we're running out of good kaiju movies, so we're going to giant robots and dinosaurs.
Okay.
I'm just.
When are we
being
gonna venture into sharks?
Oh God, me and Andrew did do Meg.
We
1 and
did
2.
do the Meg, so we did venture into
But,
shark territory.
I don't know if they ever bring back Jaws. Maybe
Oh,
we'll
please
do
God,
a
no.
Jaws.
Please God, no.
I mean,
If we have to, we're not going to the asylum genre.
No.
no, no,
Atlantic.
no.
Draw the line.
I draw the line. The line must be drawn here, as Sir Patrick Stewart would say. Anyway, no, I really enjoy this movie. Like you said, the story of this kid and this robot finding each other and befriending each other, and all that's very sweet. And I love all that. I love, I'm a big fan of, classic 50s B movies, B sci-fi movies, and I think this movie does a lot to invoke that kind of nostalgic feeling. And setting this in the Cold War, and I think some of the kind of dark humor surrounding the Cold War in this movie is actually really effective. And I think Brad Bird did a good job of making a movie not just for kids, but a movie that adults can enjoy as well. I mean, I think that's reflected in the fact that it had test screening results that were better than any movie in the prior 15 years. So, I mean, obviously, it's a very good movie. I mean, like I said, you could make the argument that it borrows maybe a little too much from ET in moments, and this movie does retroactively make me respect the Bumblebee movie even less because it's like, oh wait, there was already an ET ripoff about a kid meeting a giant robot. Now there's two of them. But no, I enjoy this a whole lot, and I think even minus the kind of the grading curve that sometimes I grade these movies on, taking that away, I still give this movie a solid A. Yeah. But anyway, some news. You want some quick news?
With the news.
Well, Alicia Debnam Carey has been cast in the next MonsterVerse movie. She's famous for Fear the Walking Dead or something.
She's also in a really generic Twisters ripoff called Into the Storm that came out quite a few years ago. Do you remember that movie?
No.
Do they have like Gerard Butler or something? And that was Geostorm.
That was Geostorm. No. It had her in it and some other people.
No.
And there was tornadoes and a fire tornado at one point.
I think I vaguely
And at
remember
one point in
advertised.
time, they're literally supposed to be in like the middle of nowhere in like Oklahoma or Kansas or something like that. And then all of a sudden, there's this major airport nearby, and it picks up all these airplanes and blows them across town or something like that. I don't even know. It was wild. I think she was also in that show, The 100 or something.
Okay.
Sorry, I know things.
The 100. I watched a little bit of that.
Anyway,
Mm.
the movie's also officially started filming.
It's coming out in 2027.
I know.
They're
2027.
filming now?
Yeah. Post-production is a B on those movies.
Mhm.
You got to do reshoots.
I mean, post-production is long on MCU movies in theory, but they got that Avengers Doomsday coming out next May or something like that. And they just started filming it.
I don't know. Maybe they'll move up the.
Yeah, they had a
release date.
5-hour in production announcement of setting out chairs.
Maybe they'll move up the release date. I don't know. Anyway, upcoming on the schedule we have. Oh, let's see, Ultraman Orb the movie.
Nope, not watching it. Sorry.
And we're gonna watch Big Ass Spider.
You wanna
Big
watch
ass
that?
spider.
Big Ass Spider.
What is big ass spider?
Remember you showed us that preview? You were there for that.
Oh, was that
preview.
that preview of that movie that I found while we were scrolling
Yeah.
through Pluto
Yeah.
one day?
Yeah.
Oh no!
You
Yeah.
you want to sit through that with us?
I've done this to you. I'm so sorry.
I thought it was an asylum movie, but
It's a real
some
film?
Research.
It's a real film.
It's an independent film. So
So everyone's like, it's not Asylum. We can put it on our schedule.
I had a blank week. I needed to fill it.
Oh
We filled it.
no!
And then Ultraman Geed.
I'm
and then
sorry, boys.
I'm hoping Dylan will join us for our dinosaur extravaganza starting
Dinosaur-a-thon.
May 14th with The Lost World, and then The Lost World, and then Jurassic Park, and then The Lost World.
How many Lost Worlds are there?
There's 2, and then The Lost World Jurassic Park movie.
Mm.
And then, whatever. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah.
So there's the Lost World, Jurassic Park, the
And
Lost World,
Jurassic-
Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World,
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom,
Jurassic World
World
Dominion.
Dominion, and then we'll review it. We'll release the video or the review Wednesday or whatever. But we'll be opening weekend watching Jurassic World
Rebirth.
It's got ScarJo,
ScarJo, Mahershala Ali,
Mahershala Ali,
some other folks.
some other folks.
Some other folks.
I'm sure Jeff Goldblum will probably show up or something.
So I'd like to see
I'm
it.
sure it will unfortunately make a lot of money.
It will. It's got a lot of competition.
David Kep's coming back to write it.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Oh my God.
there's hope in the world.
Okay.
If you say so.
Anyway, I think that's it.
That's all you got?
That's all I got. Don't forget that you can contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
And you can find our website at www.stompthisway.wordpress.com.
That's right. Dylan, you got anything to plug? Anything to say?
I'm sure we got a Facebook page somewhere you could follow.
Yeah, Stomp This Way.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dylan, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Hope it'll be pretty soon and you'll join us again.
Nah, I ain't coming back.
Oh, okay. This is his last episode ever.
No, I'll come back and watch dinosaurs.
Oh, cool.
I like
Cool.
dinos.
Maybe we'll have
I-
some upgraded equipment.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I said we said too much.
Maybe we said too much. Anyway, as always, thank you for listening. I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Dylan, and we'll catch you in the next one.